cow, it is raining. Holy cow. It's been raining for like 3 days straight. I need my poncho. I need to get out there and say, I have successfully made contact with the Prime Minister of Camino. Hi, Daisy. Hi. Hi, everyone. I feel like I haven't been live for a second, not since I got back from Japan. Hey, J-Man Fett. Hey, Starfish. So it's Friday. It is pouring rain outside here, and I just thought I'd check in with everybody, see how you're doing. Hey, Lady Aloha. Hey, that random guy. Venus, I'm doing good. Hey, Ruth. I think there's a lot to talk about. I want to keep this chat kind of spoiler free, but if you haven't seen Andor or Thunderbolts, maybe just keep that in mind. So we'll talk about, or we can talk about anything, you know. Friday's going good. I just shot a Trooper Mom. It's about watching Andor, so I have a couple other in the can, but I figured it's so topical, and it's the last weekend we'll have before without new Andor, you know what I mean, with new Andor coming. So I thought I'd make a video about that. Twisty asked, "How was Japan?" Japan was incredible. It went by so fast. Like, I think the convention was 3 days. We were there for about 12 days total. So we went for a little over a week before the convention started. And so we did a little sightseeing in Tokyo and a little bit of time at Disney, Tokyo Disneyland. Pardon me. And then the convention, and then I went home. So it was kind of a blur. I'm glad I took a lot of photos because it was just, it was a blur. So, but it was good. I hope people enjoyed the content and everything. Thunderbolts, don't spoil the ending. Can you talk about the characters? I mean, without spoiling anything, the characters I think were some of the best drawn. Like, I've seen some videos talking about how Yelena is a better Black Widow than Scarlett Johansson. And I don't think that's a fair comparison because Scarlett Johansson just didn't have a lot to work with, whereas Yelena's character is drawn much more complexly, has much more nuance, and you get in her head a lot more and know much more about her than you ever knew about Natasha. So, and there's so much you could say the same for a lot of the characters in that way. You get to see where they failed in their dark sides and their frustrations, whereas maybe the traditional Avengers, that is much more sanitized. Obviously, every Avengers had ups and downs, but the downs aren't that down. So they're going to be more interesting, in my opinion, than the OG Avengers. So you have to see it. I think there's going to be a lot of chatter. It's something that a lot of people are talking about, to try to see it before it gets spoiled. Someone else asked if I saw The Revenge of the Sith in theaters. Sith of the theaters. I did not. I did not have the free time. I was out of town. I basically went from Japan to Los Angeles, and then I came right back, and then I've had family visiting, so that just really hasn't been a time. Like, I wanted to squeeze in Sinners before it left theaters, and even that I had to go literally at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, because that was the only hole in my schedule. I have seen Revenge of the Sith on the big screen before, so I don't feel like I missed out, but I'm sad about missing out on is that big screen experience of having a crowd of people who haven't seen it since they were kids. I would have liked to have seen that, but I just didn't have the chance. So I'm excited. I have heard rumors that there might be something with Rogue One, that they might do something on screen leading into Rogue One with Andor. So, but I don't know if that's all been confirmed yet. Are you planning to see Lilo and Stitch live? Lilo and Stitch, sorry. By my mispronunciation of Lilo's name, you know that maybe Lilo and Stitch isn't one of my top fandoms. That said, I think that the trailer makes it look really fun. The girl they've hired, that actress, looks like her face, her mannerisms just look fantastic. So I'm actually more intrigued by this one than I have been for most Disney live action lately. So Disney live action, just of the animated films transition, I feel has been hit or miss for me. but I don't think I'm the intended audience either, so I think that's okay. I will say I love the live action Aladdin. I think that that music just hits, and I love the original animated Aladdin 1992. I think that that was always one of my favorites, and then I think the live action is not better or worse, but just different in a great way. And I'm not sure if the others quite hit like that one, except for maybe Maleficent, but that takes a completely different tact, you know. I haven't seen them all. I have not seen Dumbo or Lady and the Tramp. Um, hey Daisy, thank you on my May the 4th video. I've been meaning to have a behind the scenes on it, but then I went to the Andor thing and I've been getting that content out. That was a long day. It was I had the idea the day before and I'm like, oh my gosh, how long can putting all my costumes take? And yeah, I lost an entire day doing that, really silly. And what I regret about it was, and it's funny too. Like part of the reason why I haven't put out a behind the scenes about it is because I shot some asides to the camera like as I'm getting ready, and I'm just like super bummed out the whole time. I'm like, oh, this is taking forever. Like it's not fun video of me. But then the video actually got a surprisingly great response on all three platforms, which it's been a while since that's happened. So I feel bad putting out a behind the scenes where I'm just like cranky the whole time. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. I wish I had done more in each costume when I had them on. I did a little dancing to maybe put that all together into something at some point, but that would have been the moment to have like 20 ideas ready to go and as I have them all on, but I didn't do that. So but I'm just really glad everyone liked it. I finished editing it the night before late, like it was 1 or 2 in the morning. And I remember thinking, this just isn't flowing. This is just kind of self-indulgent. It doesn't really make any sense. It feels really stilted. It doesn't flow. And I'm like, ugh, but I'll just post it and see what happens. And I'm glad it turned out. I'm going to Fan Expo. I have no plans for any of the Fan Expos yet. They've announced some amazing guests. I have a relationship with the team. I think with Star Wars Celebration, all of a sudden it's con season and it's already May and April just vanished. So I probably will go to a Fan Expo this year, I would imagine, but no plans, no announcements. I don't really know. I'm not being cagey. I literally haven't had those conversations yet about which one I might go to this year. So I know in general you probably don't repeat cities 2 years in a row. So I imagine if I went there last year, like I didn't go to MegaCon, you know, I probably wouldn't be there again. But it's like been a couple of years since I went to Boston. So maybe I don't know. No idea yet. And Boston's easy. Boston's just like a short drive or train ride. So how do I? Oh, so many good questions. What's a dream role I'd want in Star Wars? I would play a tree. I would play a basket in the background. I'd play a droid. I'd wear a rubber mask, which I know I would hate. I would do anything, you know. Dream role in Star Wars. I would do anything. Um, oh, so many good questions. What about your thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Doctor Doom in the Avengers movies and what to see with his version of the character? I would love for it either to be nothing like Tony Stark or to be like a Tony Stark variant fake out. I think that's my concern about it. People looking for Stark in it. I want it to be unexpected. I think it's the best short answer for it. It's a great cool cast. I tried to when I met Oscar Isaac, I tried to trap him. I'm like, so how is like Doomsday filming going? And he wasn't having it. He's like, I'm not in that. So um, I I think hopefully we're on an upswing with Marvel. I thought Thunderbolts was tremendous, and I hope that movie is like that. Favorite time a stormtrooper obviously is a biker scout, but I like the short troopers in Rogue One as well. How do I feel about the Mandalorian and Grogu film? Oh goodness. Well, I didn't know anything about it. All we knew there was a Mando and Grogu film, and there wasn't gonna be season 4, and that's kind of all we knew. So finally, at Star Wars Celebration Japan, we started to learn that it's well, I didn't learn a ton more, but like from the photos they showed that like Sigourney Weaver is like this rebel assignment desk person that's going to be giving Mando and Grogu their jobs, which is kind of what Carson Teva set up at the end of Mandalorian season 3. Like they met in the bar and he's like, "Hey, I want to do some jobs for the New Republic," and Carson's like, "Okay, cool, I'll hook that up for you." So that's what it's going to be about, which makes sense. I would prefer a Mandalorian show than a movie, but I'm also excited that they're making movies again. So I have mixed feelings. Uh, I'll be honest, I didn't think Mandalorian season 3 was the strongest. But if we get back to just maybe like some gunslinging monster of the week mission type story, I think maybe we could like stop being bogged down with all the Mandalorian stuff. Maybe it could be good. It's not gonna be bad. There's no such thing as bad Star Wars. There's just Star Wars that's not for everybody. So I'm optimistic. Let's put it that way. Hey, Only Hope on Earth. Here's your shout out. Are you gonna do more Imperial Troopers stuck on Endor videos? I have like, oh my gosh, I have some shot that I've never edited. I always say once I get caught up, I'm gonna have things edited and get stuff out. And that just day, I think I was realizing that when I was shooting a Trooper Mom today, that day is just never gonna happen. I'm never gonna get caught up. So yes, I have more. Yes, I've written more. Yes, I've shot more. I just don't have them out. Same with like that Jedi 911 character. I riffed for like 20 minutes and there's like stuff there. And I just, now it's been so long, I have to go through it again. I broke the headphones, which bummed me out. I think that's why I don't want to look at the video because I'm mad I broke the headphones. But yeah, I feel like I've been just trying to like get stuff out and do things that have been sort of more immediate in my head. But yes, there will be more. That series is not over. The series is over when I know how to animate a TIE fighter in Blender and they fly away. Pardon me, I've never used Blender, so that's not happening anytime soon. Saving up to go to Star Wars Celebration LA. That's awesome. That's gonna be a good one. Why do you never get vids anymore? I don't know what the algorithm does or why they show what they show to people. I just keep trying to make good videos and hopefully they'll get out. I would come to Texas. I went to Fan Expo Dallas last year. It was great. It was a great convention. I'm making more costumes. Yes, I've been working on Boba Fett. I know you guys always hear me say that, but I keep having to set it aside to do something new. Like I was actually sanding my armor when I decided to do Jod. So I've got to get it back out. And then I made the dress, and now I'm going to make another Star Wars costume ahead of it. It's something I'm always working on something. So favorite Andor character? Ooh, it's a really good question. I like Clea. I mean, I like them all. Clea is the one I want to know more about. Like, how did she start working with Luthen? What's her story? What's her deal? And I am still, I have a piece of heart for Dedra Miro, woman in a man's world. Just trying to climb, trying to impress. I think she's been set up, sadly, and I know she's made some terrible decisions, but I'm still kind of rooting for her to maybe have an ending that's not terrible, but I also realize it's not likely. So, but I don't have they're all great. How can you pick one favorite? Tauchin Madek is his birthday. Happy birthday. How long did the Ahsoka Gamora cosplays take you? The makeup, so how I never actually made a video about it because I think I'm not that good at it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make a video about this that I'm clearly just very average to poor at. But what I do is I use my Cricut for Ahsoka and I print out on just label paper, the tattoos as stencils. So I put them on my face and then do the white first, then draw around the white and then fill in with orange and then go. I'll be honest, for videos, I do it kind of quick and dirty. I don't really highlight or do shadows or anything like that because I feel like from the distance with the full body, it doesn't really notice. I do the orange. I put on fake eyelashes and brown lipstick and kind of call it a day. For a convention, I do it a little bit more perfectly because I know people will see me up close. Gamora is about the same thing because I see her from a distance. And then also there's a sweep in front. I feel like I can kind of get away with doing it a little bit less. But I don't cover my eyebrows or anything for either like I should. Yeah, I just glop on and go. But probably still probably a good 20 minutes, I would say, just for the makeup. Hi, Stephen from Steven Universe. Please don't spoil things in the chat. Not everyone has time to see everything. I mean, back in the day, we waited months. Even like 2 weeks felt standard. Now you got people posting stuff the night the movie's out. Please don't do that. Just think of others. Be empathetic. Pokemon Kid says, I know you won't reply. Haha, joke's on you. But have you thought of making a Kessis for Jeremy and a Marin one for you? That's sweet. No one really suggests like couples costumes like that. I think I would make a Cal Kestis costume for myself. Jeremy's pretty much, he is happy as Director Krennic. That's his, he likes that. He hates the X-Wing pilot. Anything with like too much stuff is not, like armor is a never. So even just like a cool jacket and a lightsaber, I think Jeremy was like, what, why do I have to do this lightsaber? I don't think that's, I think Jeremy is, he's good with Krennic. You know what I mean? I picked the perfect one for him. He loves it. That's it. But that's it. Those are great costumes. Those are great characters. Um, I play on uh, in my I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and there's two Cal Kestis in that game, and they're both some of my favorite tunes to play with. They have really cool abilities, and um, I think if I made a video game character, I'd probably do finish up a K Vest first. Then I would do, even though that game is not obviously the same caliber, but that's just like a cool look, like a woman bounty hunter like that. That's a great question. Where did I learn to sew? I took actually lessons when I was living in New York City. They had a place called the Sewing Studio. It was in the garment district, you know, right, the fashion district, right, you know, in the West 30s of Manhattan. And they had classes. They were kind of expensive, but it was great. It came with unlimited use of the studio when there wasn't a class. So you could go in and use the machines. And they didn't just teach you how to sew, but how to like read a pattern and how to make a garment from start to finish, like with the pressing and the different tools. It was really great. It was a huge privilege that I lived in a big city where that was something that was available. I know that's not available everywhere, and then quite frankly, that place didn't even survive that long. It went out of business. But yeah, I took lessons. I took like first a 3 hour. I took a 1 hour class, loved it. Then I signed up for a 3 hour class, loved that. And then I signed up for a 1 week class. I was just hooked. So, and then I didn't even have equipment. I would go there when I wanted to make things and use their machines. And then it just, I was having so much fun with it. I got my own equipment. And so, but it's, yeah. That said, even I still supplement my education with YouTube all the time. Like when I'm looking up something quick, like when I'm setting a snap, I'm like, man, which of these four pieces goes where on which side? I look up YouTube, or an example is when I'm putting a fly in a pair of pants. I'm like, now which side, where does the flap go? And like how, you know what I mean? Just seeing some things in video really help. So I wish I could recommend someone that has like tutorials start to finish about sewing. I'm sure they're out there. I just haven't used YouTube like that. I've used YouTube for like quick things. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this right now. How do I do this one quick thing? But I'm sure they're out there, and just show, sewing is a skill where you seeing people do it, whether on video or in a person, seems like really critical. So, oh, your mother and grandmother were seamstresses. Mine too. I mean, I think back in the day, right? A lot of people made their clothes. It was cheaper. You know, once garment production moved outside the United States, the scales shifted, and it became cheaper to buy clothes than to make them. But I worry, like with the dearth of Joanne fabrics, just the availability of patterns and fabric for more people. I worry about those skills. And even people in, like I'm fine as a cosplayer, but I'm nowhere near like a professional level, like that a tailor or an actual professional costume maker would be at. And I've read interviews with those people, like there's just not that, the talent is just, it's a dying art to be at that level, you know. Any chance we'll see you in Hollywood Studio say goodbye to Muppet Vision 3D? I'm making a Kermit. Do we know an end date? I'm sorry, I'm out of the loop on that. With my Florida theme park news, do we know an end date? Let me scroll back. So there's more. Which character that hasn't been announced in the Doomsday cast would you like to see in the movie? Obviously, Wanda. But that said, I'm happy Wanda maybe won't be in this one, or because I want her to have like a big part. That said, I know her character is really intertwined with Doom in the comics, so but I want to make sure it's done right. Also, I made a video about this. Any kind of Hulk or Hawkeye, like Jennifer Walters or Kate Bishop, or Hawkeye, you know, Clint Barton or Bruce Banner. So I feel it's, and then Carol Danvers. I feel like it's weird we're having an Avengers movie without those three people. But they've said that it's not. This is not the full list. Where do you get fabrics now that Joanne's closed? That is a great question. I am fortunate enough to be within reasonable commuting distance of the New York City Fashion District, so I do go there in person, which is amazing. For notions and things like thread or elastic or snaps or closures or even some zippers, you can still find those things at places in the United States, at least at Michael's and then Walmart. Walmart's sewing section is actually bigger than Michael's, and that's kind of where I've been going for like, oh, I need this color thread quick, or I need a zipper, or I need hooks, those kinds of things. For fabric though, it's been either in person, or I have been able to order things online when I know very specifically the kind of fabric I need and the exact color, like precise exact color, doesn't matter. For like Deadpool, my Deadpool Wolverine dress, I needed a navy Ponte stretch knit and I needed a gold one. And so it didn't have to be perfect if the weight wasn't quite right. You know what I mean? Like for those things, I felt okay about ordering them online. If I was trying to color match something or I needed the weight and the drape of it, I would have to go in person. Like the what's the last time the reversible bomber jacket I made for Saber's Bills, I went in person. But for like the Mon Mothma dress, I went in person at Joann's. They happened to have that bolt of that heavy sweatshirt stretch that was smooth and kind of smooth and shiny on one side. It was perfect. But then for the cape, they didn't have any of those things. But I knew the cape, as long as it was like a lightweight crepe, it didn't really matter the exact color. So I ordered that. You know what I mean? But I've also been ordering stuff long enough that I kind of know what to look for and things. I would think if you're more new to it, it'd be tough to figure out where to ship online. And some fabric places take forever to ship, and that is a real challenge. Like I don't really enjoy doing things at the last minute, but a lot of times I get notified about an event without a lot of notice. So I'm still adjusting, but yeah, it's been a combination of going in person and ordering online. And I do like, I'm not like shilling Mood, but they do have a giant selection. And because they ship from New Jersey, for me, they ship fairly quickly. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So many nice things to say. You're my favorite. Thank you. Love you on my mouth address. Thank you so much. I was like, it was actually a project I had thought of a while ago and actually had gotten the materials a while ago. So once I knew about this event, luckily I gotten a little bit of a head start on it, like ideation wise, so it really worked out. And I freaked out a little, not freaked out, but when I heard the dress code was described as smart casual or business casual, and I'm like, oh no, this is like a gown. But at these events you can never be too dressed up. You know what I mean? And then so I think the way I maybe toned it down a little, I had a gold belt with it that I got rid of that. That felt a little bit too maybe like fancy. And then like I had planned maybe an updo to maybe kind of emulate Mon Mothma's hair, and I'm like, that feels too uptight. This updo, just do like a simple ponytail with a sweep. So that tried to casual it down just a tiny bit. But I was very, very happy with that. You can't, like, people ask me, I'm so fortunate that I get to go to events like this. Don't think I ever take it for granted. And I'm fortunate enough that people sometimes come to me for advice, like, hey, I've been invited to a thing, what do I wear? And I always say, you can literally wear anything. There'll be people that wear jeans, and there'll be people that wear like a ball gown with opera gloves. And it all works. So I took my advice there, like, okay, this is a little bit gowny for a cocktail party, but I went for it and I'm glad I did. Thank you. Thank you. The lines of you dressed fabulous. It helped that it was a little stretch, and that I did a mock up first to make sure I got the fit quite right. The fit is everything. I mean, if you that's when you make clothes for yourself. That's kind of the whole point, right? Like to make sure it fits when it's appropriate to. June 7th is the last day from Muppet Vision. Oh, that is soon. It's a tough time of year for that. Like I did some business travel, I should say, in April, but I think we all have this as maybe Americans that May is always like family stuff, right? Graduations, dance recitals, weddings, you know what I mean? And that's kind of my life in all good things for May and June. So I probably won't make it. But I did that video about finding the Bills helmet in Muppet Vision 3D, and I feel like that was a good farewell. So, yes, I believe Scarlet Witch is still alive. I just don't know if she'll be in Doomsday. My favorite Star Wars character. I have to. I always give the same three answers. I'll have to think a little bit more since Andor is cranking to a close. But I do love Rogue One. Some of my favorites are Jyn Erso and Chirrut Imwe, and then also Leia. Oh, they're all in Rogue One actually. What did I think of the Thunderbolt movie? I loved it, and I've seen it again. I think I really had this super positive reaction because it really exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect it to be bad, but you know, I have walked out of a lot of Marvel movies lately. Not even just Marvel movies, movies in general, going, man, that was good, but it was also kind of a mess. You know, like they just try to do too much at the end, and like it gets all like really muddy. And this wasn't muddy at all. It was clear. It was the storytelling. All the beats made sense. The pacing was good. Usually, there's been pacing issues. Yes, I cried at the Thunderbolt movie. Um, so I really liked it. It surprised me. It didn't surprise me that how the characters behaved. I just thought it just really exceeded my expectations. And every character kind of had a really cool moment. I think if I had to change anything, I wish I'd seen maybe a little bit more of Ghost, Hannah John Kamen's character. I think kind of everyone went around the room talking about um, I was child assassin. I was, you know, brainwashed by Hydra, and hers was like, I grew up in a lab. And I'm like, I think there's more to you than that. You know, I wish we had learned more about her since Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I don't think we did. So, and I know it's hard to give everybody a little bit of everything, but that would have been the one thing that I would have been greedy and went a little bit more of was Ghost, because she's Hannah John Kamen is just fantastic and she's gorgeous. But I thought it was great. I thought it was just outstanding, and yeah, one of my favorites, one of the best since No Way Home. And I think, you know, there's been a discussion like, well, Wakanda Forever was really good too. And I thought when Wakanda Forever was great, it was so good. It was such a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Where I feel like Wakanda Forever was weaker is that the ending made kind of no sense. Like they had this big fight in the ocean, and then it was Namor and Suri, and then they just kind of decided to stop. It just like, wait, what? I don't know. I wish that plotline had been tidier, because the things about T'Challa and his death and how people were dealing with that was just so staggeringly beautiful. So boy, that was a long answer. Sorry. Um, oh, you're gonna love Thunderbolts. Who do you want to join the Thunderbolts and potential sequel? Oh, nobody. I want to learn more about Ghost. Um, but maybe America Chavez would be fun. I don't know. I feel like she's a young Avenger though. Thank you, Omega. I love the way they've released the latest episodes of Andor. We can watch them at our own pace, but it's not too drawn out. That's so funny because, thank you. It's because I'm actually making a video about how it's so much at once for kids, which I don't think is the case, but it's true. Like, I don't, the great thing about Andor is you can't really spoil it, right? Like, you know what's going to happen because it leads right into Rogue One. You know who's not going to make it because you know who's not in Rogue One. So I feel like it's been a show that you really can slow down and watch however, whenever. I think everyone's just talking about it now because it's gotten just really good, and it's just been part of the dialogue. But yeah, it's kind of unspoilerable. If you post a spoiler in the chat, I am going to put you in timeout, just so you know. Please don't put spoilers in the chats. Since you were talking about Ghost, it'd be cool to see you cosplay her. Oh, her white outfit in Ant-Man and the Wasp is one of my favorites. It's so cool, but those costumes are so like deep. There's just, oh man, the sewing that would go into it. But yeah, that's cool, and her helmet is cool. She has a very cool look. Her look in Thunderbolts, I don't love as much, but I usually don't just love all black costumes. Maybe because I'm a video creator, they just don't, all that detail never really shows up. Like when I did my dark gray, I'm like, well, there's no point in doing a lot of detail on this. You can't really see it. You know, I like costumes where you can really see the detail. You know, they just appeal to me a little bit more. Um, okay. Am I excited for the animated mall show and what other Star Wars animated show you want to see? I've been pretty, I do, as someone who loves the costumes, I am in general more into the live action just because I like the colors and the textures and and so forth. I'd love more Bad Batch actually, but I know how they've ended Bad Batch. It doesn't seem like we're gonna get any more. They just did the time jump to much later if you haven't seen it. So, um, yeah, I'm up for any Star Wars show, animated or otherwise, that focuses on maybe a small corner of the galaxy we haven't seen before. A nice small story. How is Boba Fett going? Great question. Thank you. All the armor is painted. I painted it all before we went for Japan. What's next? Oh, I have to make the belt next. So all the armor is printed, sanded, painted. I still have to get the decals on. There's a decal on his chest armor and on the shoulders. I haven't printed those out yet. So I was on a good clip with it, and then I stopped to work on John and Elwood, and then the dress. So once I feel like I get the belt, and then I feel like it'll really come together. And then I haven't mounted any of the armor. I think it was in that May the 4th video where I just kind of like was sticking it on with tape. This isn't done yet, you know. I had to put all the Velcro on it. I am excited for Ironheart and Wonder Man. Riri is a great character. I made a video about that when Wakanda Forever came out. That she's like, you know, she's an engineering girl. She's a car girl, you know. I just picked, oh, what is her car in Wakanda Forever? It's something really cool. Anyway, I'm excited for that. I think it's gonna be a great show. I have not seen Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. I'm so behind on all the TV. I'm not caught up with White Lotus or The Last of Us. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, spring allergies. So no, I haven't seen it yet. I have to get caught up. Oh, thank you so much for the nice comments. Do you catch yourself? Oh, Charity, this is a great question. Do you catch yourself getting lost in the costumes during the Senate parties? I do. I just wonder. Like, this must have cost a fortune. This must have taken forever. You know, so many elaborate costumes walking past. And I think in some of the interviews, like Tony Gilroy's talked about that, costume designer Michael Wilkinson, the variety he had to do, whether it was Senate costumes or troopers or like imperial uniforms or, you know, citizens on, you know, the planets like Ferrix or whatever. Like it's astonishing the amount of work that went into it, and it's so gorgeous. Um, Oh, thank you. Bless you. Favorite costume I've ever done? I usually answer this question with the ones that took the most different, uh, the greatest variety of skills that went into them. Like it was leather work, it was sewing, it was 3D printing, it was painting, it was molding, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I would think those costumes, because then I'm the most proud of it. I look at that, I'm like, I made every single piece of this from the helmet to the boots, you know? So like Mando, Bo-Katan, the armorer, and Zori Bliss. So, what are your thoughts of the character of Bob in the Thunderbolts? I thought that was really well done. I watching the second time too. Like his physique, he comes off like he's this nerdy guy, but I think his physique is maybe hidden a little bit in his like oversized scrubs. He does a really good job of playing a character that has more than one side to him, and the way he and Yelena lean on each other a little bit without spoilers, I think is really well done. I think he was a fun character. I think my favorite Thunderbolt is Alexei. Red Guardian made me laugh. He made me laugh, and then he has this really heartfelt moment too. And I think he's appealing too because he a lot of times he acts like I think a lot of us would act if we were called to be in the Avengers. He's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you know. So that's always really endearing. Okay, I do have to wrap this up. I was gonna do a quick half-hour live, so I'll take a few more questions and I'm gonna go. But I know it's been a second since I've been live, so I'm gonna try to get back into like a weekly thing. So thanks for sticking around, everyone. Keep making baby Yoda videos. Yes, I will. I have another. My plan is a new one every Saturday. So my one tomorrow is going to be about watching Andor, which I know doesn't happen until Tuesday, but this time I'll put like a label on it saying Tuesday morning, so you know where you are. But I like YouTube really drills into you consistency, so I try to keep that series on a Saturday when I can. I think in Japan I got the days mixed up a little bit, just because of crazy and news and Mano Grogu movie and the time difference. So, but that's always my intent is Saturday mornings. If the Bills are going to Super Bowl, I bring Grogu to the game. I don't know, probably. It will depend on a great many things, but that would be amazing. I'd have to get to the game first. But that'd be a cool one this year, you know? I always try to have a lot of optimism. It's in Northern California. It'd be Josh Allen's kind of hometown. It would be incredible. So, fingers crossed. Go Bills. Are you interested in doing any of the Chandrillian wedding costumes? Ooh, yeah, you know, I think if I started with a Mon Mothma costume, I think I would do one of her white kind of wool suits that from Andor season one first. Um, Maybe the ones that she shows up in a lot, it kind of just, they're more recognizable, but they're also beautiful. And I also really liked Vel's silver dress too. What 3D printer do I have? I have the Bamboo X1 Carbon. It was an incredibly generous gift from Bamboo. I love it. One bad thing to say about it, it's made my life so much easier. I guess what's bad about it is that you can't quite fit an entire helmet on it for my head. But it does better than my previous printer, and it also is quite expensive. So that's not fun for someone new to 3D printing. I hope the Browns Bills games is in Cleveland and not in London. That's what I hope. Or Browns have Dublin. Okay. And then last question. Hardest costume to make. Oh, that's a good one. Hardest costume to make. You know what it is? And it's not even the costume, it's the helmet for the Jyn Erso Rebel disguise, Imperial disguise, where she's like an Imperial suit and then has like the armor and the sticks on her back. And there's a stupid helmet that was just a nightmare to do. So I don't ever show it. I think it's not, I think I dropped it and broke it. I don't even care. Like that just needs to be buried in the earth. I think though that was several years ago, so I think maybe knowing more, I would 3D print it and make it, you know, better and stronger and have it make more sense. But that is not my fave. That was hard. Um, Zora Bliss was kind of hard, but it was fun hard. You know, like it was fun figuring out all the runes on her belts. So that I don't know. That just took a long time. I don't feel like it was hard. Yeah, I stand by a Jyn Erso Rebel disguise. But if Imperial, I keep saying that, Imperial disguise. But if I had to do it again today, um, maybe it'd be easier. Maybe I should redo it at some point. Anyway, and then favorite costume, Mando, Bo-Katan, the armor, Zori Bliss. Any costume that has like a bunch of different skills in it. And I guess Jod too. I haven't had Jod around long enough to know if I love it. It's one of my favorites. But what I love about Jod is that it really packed up to almost nothing, you know, because it's clothes and a helmet. So that was a perfect one to pack and take to Japan because it was very compact, but still had a great presence. You know, that big coat. You know. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for, you know, liking and subscribing and being a part of my, you know, YouTube journey. They have changed things on YouTube a little bit, algorithm wise, and they told us they've done this. So, you know, things are different and changing as always, but I just keep trying to make good videos and have people enjoy them and keep sticking around. So we'll see you next time.